Introducing Minor Wisdom Quintet.
1, 2, a skidda-didda-doo.
Minor Wisdom.
So it's only taken an entire year to get, in my opinion, the best middle school theater teacher on Minor Wisdom, and that is my wife. And it is at no fault of mine that she hasn't been on to this point, because I've asked her to be on quite a bit. And to be honest, I don't know how many episodes she's even listened to, so I don't even know if she really knew what this was all about. But finally, we've been stuck in a house together, practically stuck in a house together. Some would say for 10 years, but it's been, the past few months we've been stuck in a house, and finally I got her to sit down and do a little bit of interview. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a little weird, only because I know everything about my wife, so I thought. And so it was, where do I go from here? And how do I interview somebody that I know everything about? Well, I've got to think about, you don't know everything about her. So I did my very, very best. And then we started getting into the weeds of who the two of us are as people, and that ended up being kind of fun. So if you can make it through the first 25, 30 minutes of boring, who are you as a teacher and your philosophy, blah, 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 then you'll get into some fun stories about the two of us. And I really do think that my wife has a really good speaking voice, so maybe you'll just enjoy that as well. But we did have some fun, and finally I got my real wife on. Still haven't had any of my work wives on, Nicole, Melanie. Neither of them have been on. I guess you could say Pam Wilson was on, but I wouldn't call her my work wife. That just seems weird. But my partner in crime. So enjoy this week's podcast with Jennifer. Before we get to that, I do have to mention a couple things. I don't have to mention. Again, I don't get paid for anything, so I don't have to mention anything, but I will, just because I'm nice. But I do have a hand in 2 cookie jars, one with Texas Thespians, and Thespian Convention is happening now. Festival is happening pretty much this week for the national side of things, so hope everybody that is partaking in that enjoys the experience, and please let me know how that is, because I am very curious as to how they run it. I am not doing anything for it. My students are not doing anything with it, so please let me know how that goes. Also, the EDTA, along with USITT and a couple of other places, did finally put a PDF out this past week. It's very colorful, it's very nice, and giving you suggestions, and some of them are not so much suggestions as sort of telling you how your space should be reopened. So make sure you guys check that out as well. That's on Facebook. And then TETA finally announced that they are going to be digital this year, online this year. So TETA in September will be online. And the way I read it is that some of the content will just be there for a while. So you don't have to necessarily sign up for that specific set of days. That content will be around and online for your enjoyment, even after those specific times that it is released. More details, I'm sure, on that are going to come out. And maybe we're going back face-to-face, maybe in August, according to our governor in Texas. And I know some people outside of Texas are listening to this, so I would love it if you kind of told me what is happening with your state as well, because I believe everybody's going to be a little different. But our super conservative, this virus is a hoax governor, he has decided that we will be going back to face-to-face, even though really in the article he kind of skirts around it and says, I want to go back face-to-face, but I don't know if that's possible, blah, 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 blah. It's just a mess right now. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's healthy, and I hope everybody is making smart decisions when you are going out into the public, whatever that might be. Please enjoy this wonderful interview that I did with my wife yesterday on June 20th. So a day after Juneteenth, a day before Father's Day. right smack dab in the middle, on the day of the Trump rally. Enjoy. So the podcast that everybody wants to hear is my wife. Jen, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
Well,
I know your background. I better know your background, right? Do you want to quiz me?
I don't know. Well, first and foremost, I'm not from around here.
I ain't from these parts. Yeah.
I was born and raised in the Dallas area, a little town called Mesquite, Texas. And I got into theater when I was in the 9th grade. I went and auditioned for Cinderella and forgot to go to the singing audition and didn't get cast. And I was the only person. It broke my heart. And then I realized what happened. So that's where I started. And I have basically been doing theater ever since. I went to Sam Houston State University and got my degree in musical theater. Prior to that, I went to Belmont University and I was a music performance major. And did a little quick switcheroo to English, so I really enjoy words. I've been teaching.
That's it. I was gonna say.
Hold on,
man. You married up.
You know. So after I graduated, I did not go into teaching right away. I worked at an envelope company, Love Envelopes. Shout out, yo. They're a great company.
Do they still exist? Do you know?
They really still do.
Okay.
They have their headquarters in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And
topical on the day we record. Anyway,
I know. But I worked from the Dallas office. Actually, I worked in both.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
We dated while you worked in Tulsa.
True
anyway,
story.
Continue.
But so after I finished working at Love Envelopes, I did my alternative certification and got into teaching. Yeah. And I've basically been teaching ever since. I started as a substitute teacher in Garland ISD and then moved to Fort Bend. I taught at Austin High School in Fort Bend for 5 years. And I'm going into my 7th year at Fort Settlement Middle School.
And you're 12th total. 12th total?
I'm going into my 12th year.
Yeah. Did you say that? Mm-hmm. Typical husband.
True.
So what do you miss about professional world? And now some of this is going to get real because maybe I don't know some of these answers. And if you hear thunder in the background, because it's thundering in the background, it's not her love for me.
I really enjoy singing, and I sing all the time, but I enjoy having people with me. I enjoy really singing in a group, and I know that's more of a choral aspect. I enjoy performance. I enjoy affecting people. I miss getting to delve into a part for myself and not for a student. I miss that because it was everything for a while. It was, I don't know, you get to build something from the ground up. And I love directing. I really love directing. But I do miss being in the spotlight, not for accolades, but just for the sheer enjoyment of performance.
So now, again, I know a lot of things about you that other people don't know, and not that it's secrets, but like, for instance, I think one thing that I kind of know about you that could inspire other people, even though you may not think that that's true, is that when you first started teaching, you were not scared, but apprehensive to direct your own show.
Oh, absolutely.
But that you knew that that's what you were walking into as an educator, because that's what we do. We have to direct. What is it now that you can cough? It's okay. What is it now that's 12 years later that you still fear as a director?
Everything. I love changing things up a bit. And I didn't get to do this when
you do.
I co-taught. When I co-taught at the high school level, it was a really great chemistry. I taught with Brad Cummins for 5 years, and I love the man. we are very much the same person except for in age. I am an old soul, and our directing
He's
styles.
a young soul.
And he's a very young soul. So it evens out.
Yeah. It's funny.
When it came to going into directing with him, it was really easy and effortless. Plus, I had the pleasure of following a phenomenal teacher who taught her kids very well, and they also had their heads on their shoulders when it came to directing. So, Tress Curzon did a fantastic job of training the students that I became. That I became.
That you
awkward.
Sort of. I mean,
that became mine. So I inherited.
Teachers become students.
Teachers become students.
On the next episode of Teachers Become Students. Anyway, continue.
So, so her kids already had a good head on their shoulder. I did not come from nearly as great of a background, I think, in theater, because I don't think it was necessary where I was from and when I was from, if that makes sense. I feel like UIL and musicals and theater in general and at the high school level have really upped their game. So I came in a novice, and I don't know that I came out a pro, but I did come out more confident. And so now you ask me about directing. Yes, I'm still scared because I have big ideas, and how to make big ideas work on a teeny tiny little middle school budget where every purchase you make is scrutinized. I'm sorry that I got the bed sheets, okay? We needed them for the bed in Peter Pan. Anyway, I love directing, and it does scare me. I think my favorite part about it, though, is when the kids finally buy in. I'm crazy. You know this. When it comes to directing, I like to do weird stuff. I started, I think, with Willy Wonka. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I directed it in the style of Doctor Who because I'm obsessed with Doctor Who. And every single magic circle since that time has always consisted of students saying, at the beginning of this process, I thought you were crazy, but after a while, like, wow, Miss Minor, you have some really good ideas. Like, yeah, I know. Anyway, so it was really fun to do that.
I think I know the answer because I think we've talked about this, but what's the best show, or excuse me, the most favorite show that you have directed? Stick to musicals. I think I know the answer, though.
Oh, yeah, Ragtime. Ragtime or Fantastics. I honestly, like a tie, but Ragtime was just powerful. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah. Can I talk about...
So here's the thing that you're not used to is I'm letting you talk and I'm not interrupting because that's what makes a good host.
I know.
Yeah, right? Usually I'm interrupting everything,
I'm so
telling you
nervous.
what you did wrong, mansplaining, all that kind of stuff. So you're allowed to just keep talking. And now as a professional podcaster, because this is episode 70, 71 maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, right? So the floor is yours. This is all about you. I'm not going to interrupt.
All right. So I'm going to talk about Ragtime.
I'm even muting my mic.
Oh, nice. So Ragtime, I fell in love with it when I first saw, I took it was a full year off of school in the middle of college, and I had the pleasure of going back to Sam Houston to see Ragtime, and I loved it. I loved the music. I loved everything. Then I read the book, and oh my gosh, it's different and so good. It's just so good. The characters are rich and they're deep and they're beautiful and multifaceted. And that, my friends, is what I really, really, really love. I love to get those characters who are just more than what they say. There's just something lurking beneath. So when I decided to direct it, I taught again at Austin High School, and we're a very diverse school, which is awesome. So I surveyed a lot of the students from the past year to see if they would be interested, and thinking that I knew I needed to be conscious of how I cast because of the racial tones in the show. So I wanted to survey to make sure I had enough people to do it. So that happened, and the year before, and then the year that I auditioned people, not very many people showed up. So I ended up having to cast in a very interesting way, which I still feel moved people, and I'm okay with that. It wasn't in terms of exactly casting it the way that I wanted to cast it, 100% brilliant, but the outcome was awesome. We laughed, we cried, we studied. The kids and I think I bonded the most with those kids. And I think it had to do with the content and having us kind of question our own thoughts about things and how things work in our country and how they used to work and how far we've come or not, and so on. So I loved that.
That was what, 2010, 11?
Who knows? I could check my shirt.
Well, I think I was not teaching at the time. Yeah, you are.
2011.
2011. I was going to say, because, I mean, now, you would have thought at 2011 that we had come a long way and then we'd have to keep going a longer way. I just watched something, actually, my sister posted on Facebook, and Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man is what it's called. I forget the host's name, but they talk about that. It was, what are the Waco couple that's on HGTV? Kit and
Chip and Joanne.
Chip and Joanne. I said Kit, yeah. But they asked him, one of his kids actually, or their kids, said, do you feel we've come a long way? Or maybe he asked that, I don't remember. But do you feel like we've come a long way? And he answers, we have, but we're not done. So he made a point that 70 years ago, I would have been killed for being found in a white person's home. And,
it's not long ago.
No, it's not long ago at all. There are millions of people that are alive now that were alive then. So it's not that long ago. But we're not here to be Debbie Downers. So your first musical, that was my favorite musical.
No, it was so good, wasn't it?
With Drowsy Chaperone, right?
No.
Yeah.
It was Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, I love that.
And the reason I loved it so much, one, it had a ton of energy, and you had really good kids. I mean, I don't remember any of the kids in the show. I just remember being impressed with the talent. But also, I think as a husband, I was really proud of you. Or we weren't married yet. Never mind. But as a
fiance?
Were we even? Because you started teaching a year after I started teaching, 2008 into 2009. So no, we weren't even engaged yet. You were just my girlfriend. Right? Is that right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway,
it would no. I think didn't we?
2009 to 10 maybe.
We probably got engaged during that because we got engaged in January and we took a trip to New York. Was it?
But it was Was it January?
No,
it was a
June.
winter. No,
it was June or July.
Was it? I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, it was exactly a year before we got married. So it was summer of 2009.
Okay,
is when we got engaged.
So after
we need to ask Elisa and Brandon.
Dates.
But yeah, dates, right? But anyway, I was really just proud of you, and I guess I didn't have to be at that time because you were probably just my girlfriend. But it was just really, really good, and it sticks out of my mind. Because of just the energy and stuff. And no offense to Brad Cummins, but he wasn't a musical theater genius. Like that's not really what he was known for.
Nor am I.
But you are, though. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. And I'm sure the only person that's listening to this entire podcast is Philip Taylor because he just wants to hear what you have to say. Because if
love Philip Taylor.
Yeah, if we divorce and you remarry, it'll probably be to Philip Taylor just because you love him, but he adores you. But anyway, and that's why we're here to announce that you'll be moving to Austin for next. No, I'm just kidding.
Behave yourself.
But I just love that musical. I thought it was very, very good. And then I also loved Ragtime because it's my favorite musical. And Fantastics was okay, but
hey.
What? Anyway,
Better
James was good. That's when I fell in love with James. He was that kid is so funny, but he's not kid anymore, but still he was just the mute. He was so funny.
And I had two mutes in that show and they were both fantastic.
Yeah. Pardon the pun, but he,
I didn't even know I did it.
Yeah, it's okay. That's why I'm here. Anyway, so, what is something in the world of educational theater that you've experienced that doesn't exist in the world of professional theater? And I know the answer could be there's quite a bit, because you have to hold the kids different. Accountability is different, but talking more artistically speaking, not necessarily like the education side of things.
Artistically speaking, you have to do a lot more in every place. So when I was a performer, I could just perform. I can do everything that I can possibly do and maybe help out with the set if I have extra time, maybe bring in costume pieces or, learn my lines and things like that. But when it comes to not just directing, you've got to remember you're not just a director, you're also a teacher. So you essentially have to take longer to stop and discuss things with students in their process. And you have to really make them understand the why behind what it is that they're doing. And I think if they don't get that why, then they're not telling the story. Sorry.
Radio silence, always good for a podcast. Are you thinking or are you done?
I'm not done. I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay. That's normal. So that brings me to my next point. So, because, people are going to want controversy. Controversy sells, Jennifer.
Sure.
So my lawyer is here to serve you with some papers.
Nice. I've been waiting for this.
Waiting?
Yeah.
Where's your lawyer?
I didn't feel like getting one. I was waiting for you.
Our lawyer's the same.
True story.
Anyway, so damn it. You're right. You're, how'd you just say it?
Never mind.
But
Just-
you
just
added
go.
kind of a weird thing on the you part. Right.
Anyway,
I don't know.
just go.
Very European. I thought of another one, by the way. What did German 50 Cent say when he didn't want to put on a show?
59?
Yeah, very good. Okay. It took Eric Lane quite a long time to figure that one out.
But I knew all your lead up.
Yeah.
All your jokes leading up.
Yeah. And what's yours? You came up with one.
Oh,
It
I don't do
it was-
jokes.
what did 50 Cent say when he hit the golf ball the wrong direction? 54.
Or whatever. Yeah. I didn't even know that 4 meant to go in the wrong
Or
direction.
did I make that up? You made one up.
I made that one up, but
yeah.
I just gave the idea to
What
you
did-
and you put it together.
What did 50 Cent say when he was tossing die for a craps game? 57. All right. Yeah, because you want 7.
Because
Is that-
craps, I've never played.
Well, that's crappy. So you teach at a school that's very the demands are high.
Mhm.
Your shows they're good high school shows, comparatively. So they're not they're not great Tommy Tune winning high school musicals, but there are schools in our district, high school level, that wish they could put on productions that you put on. And I'm not going to name those schools.
Nice.
Yeah. Dulles is one. But anyway, but that's also partially your fault,
Yes.
said
I know where
shamefully.
this is going.
So, do you think you work too hard?
I think that I work as much as I need to work in order to be happy with what I put out there.
With your product?
Oh, I don't like that word.
It's a product.
It's only by the nature of it ending.
You're not like a marijuana dealer. Like,
Dude,
it's not like
it's a
that kind
process always. Even the very last day.
Yeah,
the
but
last performance is still the process.
and ultimately you put out a product,
Okay, fine.
right? Because let's say you filmed it, right? Let's say you filmed it, and 20 years from now you watch that film. Is that entire 20-year span part of the process? No. You are ending
If you
with
reflect on it to get better.
Oh my God.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but do you think, like, let's say tomorrow you quit and a new teacher takes over, and it's not Reagan. Let's say Reagan leaves too. Okay, so it's nobody that knows you, or your department or Reagan. Do you think that the school would hold that director to the same standards, or do you think they just would want something comparable? And I don't want you to incriminate your school, obviously, because the biggest fans of this podcast are all Falcons.
So I think that this is a really tough question because I feel like
That's why I have so many followers.
I feel like my fine arts team, and we really are a team. I love the people at Fort Settlement. We love each other. We work with each other, and not like we don't get to work together, but we get to, we're all nice and we share and we work things out. I think that we fight hard for our own departments separate from the school.
So you don't think the school puts certain demands on you, or do you because when you were at Austin, let's say you go to another school, let's say you go to a school that's not as because your school is a very successful academic school as well, in a pretty decent part of the county, or I don't even know if it's in Fort Bend County, but in a decent part of the district. Is it in Fort Bend County?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the whole district no, the whole district's not in Fort Bend County, because like Willow Ridge is in, I'm pretty sure is in Harris County.
Harris.
But anyway, so I digress. But you have a pretty good school, academically, behaviorally, financially. You're hashtag blessed. But do you think if you went to another school that wasn't nearly on the same level academically, financially, or behaviorally, that I know you would put in a lot of work, but would the expectations still be there?
Absolutely. In fact, I sometimes feel that privilege can be a disadvantage, and please do not mistake the school that I am at for having people who are only in a really good situation in life. There is some diversity there too when it comes to socioeconomic and behavioral. It's a different set of behavioral concerns.
Well, you could argue that even that your kind of school might have just as many, if not more, behavior issues. It's just different behavior issues. Yeah.
I think the thing that would change if I were to go to a school that had something different, right now we run into the problem of rehearsals because I'm sure there's different excuses at every school for parents and students and yada, yada, yada. But at our school, the parents typically pay for outside activities from the school. Like our kids have outside piano lessons, outside Chinese school. They'll have, did I say tennis or piano? Piano. Okay. So they have tennis lessons, they have volleyball, and these are not school related. So those essentially for parents, because they pay for them, take precedence over any rehearsal that I would have after school. So I don't really get to rehearse after school. I think if I were to move to an area where parents needed more supervision for their kids or an activity for their kids after school, that I would probably be more successful in theory, because I would have, I guess, more students and more time, if that makes sense, to work with.
Yeah. So you have to self-reflect a little bit. And I do think like there might be some people that are listening to this podcast that are waiting to hear us talk about each other. And maybe we'll get to that in a second, but and maybe I'll give my opinion on this as well when you're done, because I don't want to influence you. But what is your biggest strength and what's your biggest weakness? And you can even say as a person, boom, let's really blow things up. Boom. Yeah. My biggest strength. I know your biggest weakness.
I thought you said you were going to let me talk.
Oh, sorry.
That's so rude.
It rhymes with chicken.
I hate you. That's true. You don't even need to cut that. Okay. My biggest strength.
You have to pick, by the way, you have to pick one weakness.
Okay. So stop. My biggest strength
Well,
actually,
yeah.
I think my biggest strength is that I care. I mean,
Okay.
like that strength affects the outcome of a lot of other things. I care if things don't get done. I care if things will look bad. I even had a nightmare last night where I put on a terrible show and I was like, no, that's, I can't, no, I gotta fix it. So I think that I care. I mean, it moves past just the things too. I care about the students. I care about their learning. I care about education. I care about everything. Maybe too much. I think empathy. I think that's also my.
That's why we work well together.
Yeah, because I empathize with you all the
'Cause I have
time.
no empathy.
So my biggest weakness could arguably be the same thing, but
Yeah.
I'll try to.
Oh, I was about to say you could also be that you care because sometimes that affects home life, right? Because
Yeah.
So, but you also your biggest strength is that you care, but you also care about your family and your kids. So, which makes your strength a weakness because you also care about
So my
making
opposing
sure
objectives
right,
are
right. So, but you you care about the process, not the product, the process at your school and the respect behind your name being on a
I do.
product. And yeah, so I mean, care is a double-edged sword, probably.
Yeah.
What do you think you can improve upon? And don't say care less.
I wasn't going to.
Well, I don't know. That
What
wasn't
do
meant to
I
be
think
a
I
joke.
can improve upon? I am going to say prioritizing.
Husbands.
Also this. Prioritizing, I think I used to think it was time management, and I do not think that it is
I don't
time
think that,
management. I think I'm actually really good at managing my time, but I definitely know if there is one important thing and one thing I want to do, I will do the thing that I want to do over the important thing because they both got to get done. So,
Hey, should I redo my blanket? I'm sitting here. So, for the backstory, if you don't follow Jennifer on Facebook or myself, I made a t-shirt blanket out of all my Dulles shirts. Well, some of my Dulles shirts, and I did it. I'm not a sewer.
neither am I.
Well, you're more methodical though, and you're a baker. I'm a cooker. Like that's the difference between us. But and some would say they're the same thing, and I hate that. You've said that, I think. Haven't you said that they're the same thing, or your mom has said that they're the same thing?
Doesn't matter.
But they're not the same thing. Anyway, your blanket looks really, really good.
Does it really?
It looks very comfortable. Just like
Ooh, it's very
I think
comfy.
my biggest thing that I messed up on that I can still redo technically is the silky edge or whatever, the border, which makes the blanket like even Ava will say, "This hurts, Danny. This is rough. It's rough." So I'm jealous. I'm jelly of your blankie. So what is something about me? What's an embarrassing story about me?
What isn't an embarrassing story about you? I mean, how deep do we want to get 3 weeks into our relationship? Is that TMI?
No, I mean, you know me, I don't get embarrassed very easily, but it's not TMI. You can do it. Tell the story from your perspective.
Oh gosh, I don't
because I was face down, so I don't know what you saw,
Oh my
or I don't even know. Like,
Well, I wasn't in the room when it started.
no, but when here, I'll give a little lead in. When the nurse walked in, you might have had a knife in your hand ready to stab me, and I would never have known.
Yeah, well, you were already bleeding.
Right,
so
exactly.
No need.
I think that's where we stop. We don't even tell the story. I think that's no,
The end. So
3 weeks in.
3 weeks into our relationship,
And mind you, we started dating.
so many years ago.
Yes, but we started dating. Our first kiss was at a New Year's party, so it's very easy to remember our dating anniversary, in my opinion, because it happened like at at midnight, 2006 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
3 weeks into our relationship, I am visiting Houston from Dallas because I lived in Dallas at the time. And Blake had just had surgery. He had a polynidal cyst removed from his tailbone.
Was that the third or the fourth?
Who knows? Probably the third.
I think it was the third because I
you
had another one later.
Yeah,
with
you had another one in our relationship. So anyway, if you don't know about polynidal cysts, they have to heal from the inside
It's a tail.
out. It is a tail. Tale of two cities. Literally.
Well, tail of two cheeks.
Sure. Ooh. Anyway, so it has to be packed. The wound has to be packed. It's like a 2-inch incision, and it's about 2
Yeah,
inches.
they just don't sew me up. They don't
Yeah,
sew
one
you
or
up.
1 or 2 inches deep,
Sure.
and it kind of gapes open and so on. It's really gross. It's awesome.
Honestly, I've never seen it. I mean, you now have.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the insides of you,
Gross.
including your knee.
Yes, including my
Anyway, so the nurse is there packing the wound, and
unpack. No, she was there to clean me up.
yeah.
She was there. She unpacked it, said, "Go take a shower."
Right. So he could only take a shower when the nurse was there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she unpacked it and she was there to pack it though. Anyway, so he's in the shower and I'm like in the living room, like giving him his privacy because, didn't want to be weird 3 weeks in.
3 weeks in.
And so he's taking a shower and all of a sudden naked Blake comes out from the shower into the bed and he's gushing from the
But
ass.
I jump on the bed.
Like you,
Face
yeah.
down.
He jumps on the bed face down because he's gushing, literally. And I'm curious, so I looked, and I looked at his wound, and you could see it. It was like
Just above the
you know how
crack.
you see lakes fill up, or like like water or something like fill up from empty. That was his like wound with blood. It was awesome, and then it overflowed. It was gross and cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's there getting packed again. I'm like, what do I do? So I looked at him. I looked at his bathroom. His bathroom looked like a bloody murder scene. It was
Yeah, it was a Hitchcock film.
the most
Yeah.
blood I have ever seen around any one location. It was awful. So I got the bleach and got a towel and cleaned it up. Boom.
So gross.
I knew then
Yeah.
we would be together forever.
Yeah. That's true.
We're-
Yeah, I mean, you paid me back many years later when we had our first kid. So I guess
true story.
I guess we're even. But then, yeah, you saw my knee, the inside of my knee, because you kind of glossed over that story. But so Travis High School asked me to give them a fun fact about me because they're going to tweet out like, welcome these new staff members and stuff. And they're going to, so I said my fun fact because I love this fact because I didn't want to go straight to the touring world because people give me crap about, you always talk about that, but I do because I liked it. But my fun fact was simply I'm the only non-player coach to be carted off a Minute Maid Park field during a game. So there was at one time, and there may have been more, there was one of those, I don't even know what they call them now, but the Coca-Cola field crew cheerleader girls or whatever that throw out shirts and fake baseball and the soft baseballs, all that stuff. She was hit by the like golf cart thing that Orbit was in, or maybe it was Junction Jack at the time that was shooting out stuff. She was hit. She was literally run over by it, and she was carted off, but it was before the game. So I can claim that during a game, I'm the only non-player coach to be carted off. And so that hopefully will open up a conversation with somebody who sees that tweet maybe. But I was carted off because I worked in the manual scoreboard and I fell and tore my knee open almost to the bone.
And at about 10 o'clock at night on August 12th, I know because it was 2 days before my birthday.
Is that 4 inches?
That was pretty
4
big,
inch?
4
Yeah,
inches.
yeah.
So he calls
We're
me.
looking at my knee, by the way, for those of you.
Yeah. He calls me at 10 at night. And mind you, I'm a grandma, always have been.
And
8 o'clock, I'm all like.
We had one kid at the time.
So we have one kid at the time. I am at home, fast asleep, and I get this phone call. I pick it up, and I hear Blake, okay, so I don't know what to do. My leg is bleeding, and it's torn open, and I'm going to the hospital. And then he hangs up. That's it.
Yep.
That's what I got. He hung up. He's like panicking, calls me, he hangs up.
Leave you wanting more.
And so I called his sister, and anyway, we got things taken care of, and eventually we got to go to the hospital, which was fun because I got to watch my husband's knee flap, like his skin flap on his knee, get torn off and cleaned.
While I'm just in so much pain because the guy's cleaning it, and what's the best part is that there were 3 people in the room, because I don't even remember there being a nurse. I think it was just the doctor, right?
Yeah.
There were 3 people in the room, you, my sister, and the doctor, and all 3 of you, I had just met this doctor, were having a hell of a time basking in my pain and misery.
It was awesome.
And I think the doctor, like, I'm wondering if the doctor was given permission because of the way you two were reacting to me and I was reacting to the 2 of you to kind of be himself a little bit, you know, because I wonder if you had been in there and you guys were like, huh, huh, and I'm like, guys, this isn't fun, and all this kind of stuff, I wonder if he would have been a little more doctory. Bedside manner would have been a little better. Yeah. But anyway, enough about me. Do you want any embarrassing stories about you?
I don't hardly get embarrassed anymore.
Yeah, you actually...
should I tell, like, the big one that happened last summer at Five Below? Or is that too much?
I mean, it's up to you.
I don't think I'll tell that.
Yeah, don't tell that one. Let's just say Below is part of the story. But
Pier 1 action there, too.
Was it at Pier 1 or Five Below?
I was at the Five Below.
Hashtag RIP Pier 1, right?
Yeah. Sadness.
You don't have a lot of embarrassing stories. You really don't.
Because I'm not really embarrassed by a whole lot.
I would say, like...
Oh, can I... Okay. I have one. I'm still embarrassed by this, and yes, it involves gas, so I apologize if blah. Anyway,
is this with the student? Didn't you pass gas like bending down with a student or something at one point?
Probably like every day. I don't care about that in front of my kids. Anyway, my students know, like, if I say, hey, keep a 5-foot radius, like,
that's how Joe Pruitt is.
I don't believe in keeping that in. That's bad for you.
Joe Pruitt will tell you, don't walk downwind of me.
So we were at a parent night, and I'm there with all of my fine arts crew, and I had really bad gas, and I was trying to pass it very quietly. So our tables have our lunch tables have the round chairs, and they're, you know, placed and everything. So I stuck one cheek on one seat and one cheek on the other, and I tried so hard. It was parent night, y'all.
But you didn't succeed.
There were 300 parents there, and there it went. It went, it was so loud.
Did they know it was you?
And yeah, well, I don't know if the parents knew. I don't know if anyone there, but I looked across my all of my fine arts crew, and the people right next to me did not hear it, but 2 people down, it was Angela Punye. We made eye contact, and we both just laughed. It was awful.
You can't hear it right now, but I hit laughter on my brand new Rode, my Rodecaster Pro.
Farts are funny.
Farts are funny, and we are raising 2 girls to think that they're quite funny too.
Hey, but there's a difference between being goofy and silly with your friends or on a podcast, and then being like at the dinner table with your in-laws if they're alive. And you know, like, you know, I have discretion.
Yeah, for the record, because we talked about that knee story. My parents have been dead since 2006. So, because you said, "Oh, I called his sister," and made it sound like my parents are not. They don't care. No, they do. Well, actually, maybe they don't. I don't know. But they're gone, and that's okay. That they're gone. What else am I going to do? What else? That's awkward. Jeez.
Crickets.
What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know, man.
I just don't want to get into philosophical stuff with you. It's boring. It's like the first time we've sat down and talked about stuff like this in a while. Usually our conversations are much shorter. We went to Iceland.
Ooh, that was fun.
That was fun. We would love to move there, but not right now.
They don't want us.
No, they don't want us at all. They don't want Americans.
But we want them.
Yes, Iceland is a place to be.
I'd settle for Colorado.
It's practically the same thing, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I got geysers.
Food's not very good. It's cold.
The beer's great.
The beer, yeah. The beer in Iceland was okay.
For me, it was awesome.
Yeah, true.
Because I don't like beer.
You're not a beer drinker. But yeah, Iceland was great. What other fun stories do we have that we can share? Okay, so what? I know the answer. What do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I would like to be a background singer for Paul McCartney or Elton John. Now,
What about James Taylor too, or no?
actually, I would probably be more suited to James Taylor.
Yeah.
I love James Taylor.
Anyway, continue.
So-
Paul McCartney, Elton John.
That's it. I don't want I don't need to be the star. I just want to sing.
Hey, you know what I always talk about with you when we get on our resume discussion in my classes? I always bring up that you have something on your resume that's an icebreaker, and that is
That I can sing Anything Goes in Mandarin.
can you still do it?
I'm not gonna sing, but I can do it for you.
Do a little bit. You don't have to do the whole thing. Why do you know that again?
It's okay. First off, it's actually from Indiana Jones. And secondly,
Which one?
Dr. Jones. I can't remember. Monkey Brains.
Okay, I don't know.
I
I'm
can't
not
remember.
Yeah, sure.
And I
say
always get
anyone.
them
I don't
confused. It wasn't Nazis. Anyway, so Jonathan Charles, God rest his soul, he decided that he wanted to take that little clip from the movie and put that into the live version. So I was in Anything Goes back in college, and we learned that and we sang it, and it was so much fun.
Do you know why you still remember it almost 20 years later?
Because I like languages.
Okay. Oh, that is one of the few things that I love about you and your mom, and we've talked about this too, is that you do your very, very best to add the proper dialect to any word that you feel necessary to add a dialect to, right? So, for
So
instance,
says you.
So, for instance, I'll take a simple one that we deal with a lot in Texas. I would just say, hey, just give me 2 beef tacos, no sour cream, extra cheese, right? You'd be like, can I get 2 beef tacos?
Shut up.
Like just that one word. It used to bother me so much because I was like, you're kind of offending them, but now it's just so endearing. And with your mom's sort of country accent, it's even funnier because
She has 3 syllables on the word in.
Yeah, she slips into, can I have 3 beef tacos, please?
She does not sound like that.
I know, but it's fun to.
You're an idiot.
That's what I hear when I hear that happen. But it happens with every dialect because you'd be like, we'll go to La Madeleine or something. Yeah, can I have your cheese crepe, please? That was horrible.
I wouldn't call it a crap.
That was like Russian.
Yeah.
Crepe. Can I have a crepe?
No, I do one of my favorite things to do when I teach is go into random accents, and my kids love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They love when we do voices.
Yeah. But I can't hold one, and they always ask, "What accent is that?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's just one that came out of my face.
If you can do an impression of a relevant cartoon character, students love that stuff. Like if you can do any SpongeBob, all you have to do, make your voice trill kind of thing. And
I can do the mayor of Munchkin City.
But like I said, relevant. If you can do relevant,
He's totally relevant.
well, yeah. I mean, or even famous ones, and Mayor of Munchkin City might be famous, but I think that fame is dwindling a little bit. The Wizard of Oz is just not what it used to be. Because the Wizard of Oz when was it made? In the 30s?
39.
Yeah. So it was at least 40 plus years old when you and I would have been introduced to it, if not almost 50 years old. And now it's 80 years old, almost 100.
Don't make me old.
No, I'm
Like
just
you
saying.
just aged me 40 years. That's
well,
crazy.
you don't look a day over 38, so you look good.
Jerk.
Oh, you're not even 38 yet. Oh yeah, no, you are. Wait, no, you're not. Shit. Well, your birthday's in what, 2 months? Yeah, and then you'll be 38, so it's close enough.
That is not the truth.
What? That you don't look a day over 38?
No, I'm just trying to. Don't tell my birthday, yo.
What's wrong with your birthday?
I don't know, man. I don't want to be old.
Oh, like because it's on Facebook. So if you want to send her something, our address is.
Behave.
But anyway, so yeah, I just think that kind of stuff is dwindling. I think the I Love Lucy stuff is dwindling. I do. And by the way, speaking of the Mandela effect, did you know that he never said, "Lucy, you got some splaining to do"? Did you know that? I just said that like Eleanor. You know that?
Are you sure?
Yes. It's the Mandela effect, right?
Where you think that
Berenstain
something
Bears,
has been
Berenstain Bear, all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? One of the I don't.
It's like the dingo ate my baby. It was never said.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And also mirror, mirror on the wall, that thing, that was never said. So it's that he never said, you got some splaining to do. Interesting, huh? You can look it up. I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched that many
There's
episodes.
an episode that I had memorized. Literally, it's the job switching episode, and I could swear he says it in the first
Well,
few lines.
there's only one way to find out. Let's go watch it.
All right.
Do you have anything to say to wrap up your amazing podcast that is going to get dozens and dozens of listeners?
I don't know how much help I've been necessarily, but I do want to make an appeal to new teachers, especially if you are in theater. We are required to do so much more than necessary and then almost capable of as theater teachers. We are accountants, we are event planners, we are directors and teachers. We are so much. And when you go into teaching theater, it's awesome if you can stick it out. I think that it's really tough on new people, and I don't think that we are trained the way that we need to be as teachers to be able to do an effective job our first year. So I just want to make an appeal to young people. If you get into teaching and it's hard your first year and you think you're terrible at it, you're probably not. You are just being asked to do way more than you should, and then that anybody else realizes. So I just want to say, hang in there, and you're doing a great job, and don't ever stop learning. Don't ever think that you know enough. Don't ever think you are better than a kid or that you know more than a kid, because I tell you what, some of my kids know more than I do. And I tell them that too. I was like, what's that computer term you just used? Yeah, but do you know your upstage from downstage? Huh. Anyway, so just if you're new or if you're thinking about going into teaching, or if you're old even, I've seen a lot of people who just kind of give up in the middle of the road. And of course, you're not going to have a great time teaching anymore if you have stopped being willing to learn and being willing to admit that you can make mistakes. So I would just say to people out there, don't ever give up on learning or taking on the challenge of finding something new to do or a new way to do things. Yeah.
Hey, what did 50 Cent say to the judge when he asked him to speak? 55th?